Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Now moving on to some Christian self-ownage. A high school artist called out Christian bigotry. Her school board is furious. So, again, this comes to us from Friendly Atheist. So Abby Driscoll did an art piece for a they describe the art piece. It's the background features a page. The background is pages that were torn out of the Bible, and on top of that, she has painted hands clasping a rosary, with rainbow-colored bloodstains, with text that reads, "God loves you, but not enough to save you." So that's the art. Very provocative.
As much good art tends to be.
Yeah. It gets the message that they are intending to convey across with, like, it's very unambiguous. People that are LGBTQ are apparently not loved by God, according to some Christians. So if we read if we read Driscoll's explanation for this, the piece is representative of the idea that growing up queer meant you couldn't be saved by God. I grew up in a religious background that influenced this project. Then explain some of the symbolism and some of the other stuff as well. Now, this was part of an art display that was specifically supposed to focus on the theme of trauma. So now this person is saying that, like, growing up LGBTQ in a highly religious environment with people telling me that God doesn't love me for who I am, I need to change who I am in order to earn God's love. That's traumatic. Like,
I think that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah, religious trauma is a real thing that exists. And so, given the theme of the art show, which it doesn't specify whether it's an art show where it's like just this one specific kid's art or whether it was like a school thing. I get the impression that it was a school thing and this was just one piece in it. But, like, given the theme, that's entirely appropriate. 100%. So naturally, the Christians proved her point by saying this particular piece of art is seen as offensive to some, including myself. The school board has called a special meeting tonight at 9 p.m., tonight on a Saturday, at 9 p.m. to discuss. They didn't contact the artist. They didn't contact the artist's family. They were just like, oh, they ripped pages out of the Bible and painted on it and suggested that Christians might not be nice people to gay people. So we need to have a meeting. That makes me angry. That makes me angry. We need to have a meeting about this and see what we can do about getting this LGBTQ person's art suppressed. So, like, proving the point that the art piece was trying to make. Like,
yeah.
This is exactly what she was saying. Like, I don't know how much more on the nose you could be than this. Like, let's try and ban this piece of art explaining how mean we are to the people that make this kind of art.
We're not mean, though. We're loving. Look at us. Look at us lovingly beating you. Look at us lovingly censoring you. Look at us lovingly taping your mouth shut.
So Rosina is asking, are they mad at the Bible having ripped pages or the message? The answer is yes.
Yeah, the answer is they value the book more than the message you were trying to make.
Just wait till we read the part about the ripped pages.
Oh, dear.
So Hemant says, so I'm not reading this whole article out like I normally would, so just go to Friendly Atheist? Yeah, Friendly Atheist. Hemant Mehta's website. Go to his website, read the whole thing if you want. He says, if anything, they prove their point. The feelings of many LGBTQ students have as a direct consequence of Christians' bigotry. Okay.
You're right.
If anything, they proved her point. The feelings that many LGBTQ students have as a direct consequence of Christian bigotry is a perfectly valid subject for a piece of art, whether it's a painting, an essay, or a monologue. Yeah, no, that wasn't his writing. That was the problem. That was my head. That was the problem. I misread the intro, and that made the rest of it not make sense.
You should think about getting better head.
I have thought about that many times. So yeah, she's just making a provocative piece of art to explain how being queer in a Christian community makes her feel. And of course, the Christians in her community are like, no, you can't express that. You're just supposed to feel it in silence over in the corner and then pretend not to be queer to earn our admiration and respect. So, eh. So,
Love the sinner and not this. Love the sinner and hate the sin.
So the people that
is
were
impossible.
Yeah. So the people that were trying to get this piece of art banned were saying that a culture of respect needs to be maintained at school. Never gave any details as to how this particular piece of art violated that.
It's not disrespectful at all.
Yeah. So he says if calling out injustice hurts people's feelings, then that's their problem, not the people calling out the injustice problem. Apparently, it's disrespectful to Christians when queer students point out how hateful those Christians appear. It's telling that Simmons cares far more about the feelings of religious bigots than their victims. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy chimed in, said, I am also one who is personally offended by this. Like, okay, well then you're part of the problem. But then this is
like, what did you find offensive about it?
They try to get into the argument that we often make. We like when they say, "Oh, well, we need to allow prayers to open meetings," and then we say, "Well, what if a Muslim gets up there? Would you still want to allow that?" It says, by allowing torn pages from the Holy Bible to be the canvas of a clearly anti-Christian message, we are opening the door to all religious texts for all religious faiths to be subject to being treated the same way. Imagine if those were torn pages from the Quran, the Talmud, or religious texts of any faith. Or of any other faith.
All? Like I don't. Yeah,
I would be okay with all of that.
Like it's a book. We printed it off a printing press. So for just for a second, let's pretend for a minute that any of this matters. Let's pretend it matters for a second. So at what point does that Bible become holy? Is it when you paid $30.99 for it at the bookstore that it became
$60
holy?
if you get the Trump Bible.
Is it when it came off of the press and they put that fake gold leaf gilding on it? If you even got one that has that,
that's what caused the sticky pages of the Trump Bible. We promise.
Is it at what point does it become holy? Is it when you get one that has little notches in it? Is that what is putting the little notches in the Bible where it lets you thumb?
That's what makes it literally holy.
Is that the one that is bad? Because technically that's desecrating the Bible to make it easier to flip to different chapters in the Bible. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I accidentally ripped my Bible a little bit when I put a bookmarker in it because I didn't have those little tabs and I wanted to the pages are really thin, you see. Was that desecration of the Bible? Like at what point did that thing become holy on its own? Is my question. You can say, oh no, it's the idea of it. I don't care if it's the idea of it. It's a book. It came off a printing press. Books are not sacred. Books are not holy.
This is my confirmation Bible that I got when I was 13 years old. It has removable Corinthians.
God, I don't think I have my Bible I had in PCA because the PCA Bibles, the ones that we got from Becca, were like an inch thick. So the pages are like silk. They are so nightmarishly thin. Everybody had a fucked up one when I was growing up, and they were worried they had a fucked up one.
Oh, I was proud of my fucked up. So my Bibles had removable Corinthians since I was in high school. And I was proud of that because that showed how much I read my Bible. It's like, it wouldn't be like, if it's in pristine, perfect condition, that means you don't read it. Heaven says, if you're more offended by the torn pages of the Bible than the harmful, hateful message that's literally written in red across the canvas, then you missed the entire point. Yep. Those pages were not torn for the purpose of offending Christians. They were pages used to show how the supposed biblical message of God's love can be twisted by the followers of that very book. Which I would disagree that the overall message of the Bible is one of love, but that's pedantry at this point. So like if you're accepting the cultural view that, you know, even if you're not a Christian, Jesus was a good guy who taught about love, Yeah, no, the people using the Bible to spread hate is against that, and I would agree.
Look, I don't need every Christian to be right. I just need them to not harm as many people as they do.
Yeah, and Dawn, who is the artist's mother, was surprised that no one from the school board ever reached out to the family or specifically to Abby to let her speak to the piece before going into a meeting to discuss it. I guess a lot of the blowback or backlash against this piece kind of proves the art's message. Now, one of the good things, like Abby has supportive parents and a supportive community, so Abby is able to make art like this without it being massively negative for her. Um, so that's a good thing. Also, her art was allowed to be in the show, so that is also a good thing.
So it was allowed to
But
be in the show,
yeah,
but then everybody got mad.
yeah, but everybody got mad about it. But like ultimately, her art was allowed in the show, and it was provocative and it got attention. And now people way for like, I don't expect that when my kid does an art like one of my kids had to like build a musical instrument today as part of an art project, or like over the last couple of weeks, and there was a presentation of it where everybody was supposed to come to the thing and see their kids perform or whatever on their musical instruments. And I was expecting it to be like a kind of concert sort of thing. And I like, it's going to sound terrible because it's a bunch of fifth graders with homemade instruments putting on a concert. But like, yeah, no, I can deal with that or whatever. It ended up being every single kid did something percussion, and they just put them all in the gymnasium and it was like, okay, everybody start banging your instrument right now and people will walk through and look at them all. And
Cool.
it was the worst. It was so bad. But like, I gotta go for my kid.
Yeah, makes sense.
Um, but like, I forget where I was going with that.
I mean, you
Yeah.
were using that to
Fennec is
compare to
like,
the
oh, that
art
sounds
thing.
cute. And it's like, oh, that sounds less cute. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I forget how I was comparing that to the art thing though. I forget what I was trying to say with that comparison. I don't know.
Was it was the message too provocative for you to remember?
Maybe.
But hopefully, a bunch of other parents didn't get mad about it. Got fucking shitballs.
Rosina says banging things in the fifth grade. Yeah. All percussion all the time. It was not good.